So we are jumping straight into this video with zero preamble. So this is basically my daily routine now that I am working from home and basically just, in my apartment all the time, and kind of some of the things that I'm doing to make my life feel a bit more normal and, take care of myself. So the first thing here is making my bed, and I have just never been like a person who makes their bed consistently. It's one of those character flaws. But I have noticed that it is insanely helpful for me, just from a mental standpoint, to have my bed made up when I am working and living in the same space, so that there's this clear delineation between no, we are now on work time. This is not sleep time anymore. If that makes sense. And then now moving into my morning routine. So now that I'm not getting ready to go to the office anymore, it's kind of a little weird, but I am trying my best to still keep up some semblance of a morning routine. So I'm still doing all of my morning skincare and doing my hair and all of that, just from a, mindset standpoint. There's, once again, this clear delineation between I woke up, I'm getting ready for work, even though getting ready for work is walking across the room. There's such a difference I've noticed in my productivity and my focus levels when I, get up a little bit earlier and I do this whole routine of my skin and my hair and all of that, versus, just rolling straight out of bed and walking over to your desk. It's very tempting, and I have done it, before, but there's just from a mindset standpoint, that gets old real fast and it starts to just feel kind of crappy. So I have switched to now, getting up an hour before I'm supposed to start working and getting all of these things done. So, putting on real clothes, even though they're still, pretty casual. I'm still putting on a tank top and running shorts, but they are just it's something different from my pajamas. So there's a clear difference.
And then the next thing I do, once I am fully dressed and ready, is I go ahead and I turn on a guided meditation, and I just, sit there and breathe and focus for about 5 minutes or so. And it's just kind of a thing. I used to do this a lot on the metro on my way into work as a way to kind of set my brain up right. So I've kind of moved it as a home thing. I open my eyes and then it's time to get to work. So I finish that, I go ahead and I make myself a cup of coffee, and then I go over to my fancy little workstation, which is very, very backlit right now, and I get to work. So as soon as my workday ends, I immediately step away from my workspace. It's just, putting some distance between me and my work, and the way that I do that is by doing my workout. So that's something I did even when I was going to the office. Is my workout time was always after work. That's just when I function best. So I have a sort of workout split that I have been trying to keep up. Sometimes I play around with it and do something a little bit different, but for the most part, all of my Mondays are upper body days, Tuesdays are full body, Wednesdays legs, Thursdays another full body HIIT type workout, Friday is my off day, Saturday is legs again, and then Sunday I do some sort of yoga live stream class. I typically spend my evenings doing whatever, so it wasn't really worth filming. It's usually some combination of, FaceTiming people and or just doing the stuff that I would normally do on a weekday evening, and then we move into my sort of nighttime routine. And one thing so for me personally, something that I find just really is one of those things that just makes me feel infinitely better for no real reason, is kind of doing something a little bit luxurious with my skincare routine. And so really, making myself feel good and making myself feel all nice and glowy. And so I have kind of started up this sort of treatment regimen where I do something to my skin every day beyond the normal, whether it be a mask or some sort of exfoliation process or whatever. So at the end or somewhere in the middle of my skincare routine, I will do something fun. Much like my workout splits, I also have a schedule for this just because A, I love to schedule everything, and B, that way I'm making sure that I'm not doing a bunch of, super stripping things to my skin in a row. So on Mondays, I typically do a microcurrent facial like the one that I'm doing here, which is basically using this little NuFace Mini that delivers little tiny shocks to your skin and just generally rejuvenates it. So I'll do that, and I'll do an eye mask. On Tuesdays, I'll do a chemical peel, and I use the Dr. Gross pads to do that, and then I'll put on an overnight mask to kind of put back some moisture in my skin. Wednesday, we're back on the microcurrent like I'm doing right now. Thursday is another sort of mask, typically a hydrating one. My skin is dry being inside all the time, so I'm trying to keep as much moisture in it as possible. Friday, we go back to that peel again. It's super gentle, so I don't feel bad doing it twice a week. Saturday is the microcurrent again, and Sunday is yet another mask. This one I typically do as more of a, pore cleansing type mask. So that is my whole skincare routine, and it gives me something, to look forward to every evening, which is really, really dumb that that's a thing to get excited about, but it makes me excited. And I think finding things that excite you, however, menial they may be during this time, is so, so important. So do that. Find the little things that make you happy and put your time into them. The last thing that I found really beneficial is going to bed at a reasonable hour, close to what you did even when you were leaving the house. It's tempting to be able to stay up till 2 a.m. every night, but go to bed when you used to go to bed, and that way you wake up nice and refreshed, and yeah, good night.